If you're an international tourist and you visit Austria, you probably go to Vienna, Salzburg and the little village of Hallstatt at the lake. But there's another little charming town in Austria, which is in the same state as Hallstatt in Upper Austria. And it is considered to be pretty much the oldest town in Austria. It is called Steyr. The town was famous for mining iron in the Middle Ages. It was always populated since I think the first houses here were built like in the 13th century. There were a few composers like Schubert, Franz Schubert and Anton Bruckner who lived here shortly and composed some of their works here. And notoriously, a certain Adolf Hitler went to school and lived here for a couple of years in his youth. Look at this major attic. Let's enter the town through the old gate. So here it says the gate was built after the flood again in 1573. And the original one was built in 1478 to keep out the water. So this house now houses the museum of the city. This is the famous so-called Bummel house, which stands here since about the 13th century. There's a golden lion in front of the house. But since it's so small, it was derogatorily called a Bummel, which means a small dog back in the days. And hence it's called Bummel house. Here are two coffee shops I recommend if you're here in town. They're very good coffee. And you can see these houses from the inside. So now we're heading into the narrow passageway after the market square, and we're then coming to the end of the little town center. Here we have a nice ice cream place which was voted best ice cream in Austria at some point. As you can see, there's one pretty house, one historic house after the other, and some of them have placards on the house front. And you can read that they're here since the 14th century. So here you can read 1654. So this is the gate at the other end of the town. You can go up to the castle and you go up here. So let's go. Here I am in Castle Lamberg. There's not much to see inside. I don't think you can go inside, but you have a nice collection of figures and figurines in the garden. Look at this fella. So I I am here in the castle moat of Castle Lamberg, and usually in summer you can find some ibexes in the moat, but now they're unfortunately gone. I don't know why. I think they're hibernating inside for the winter, but usually you can find a couple of ibexes in here, the local pets of the town. On this place there was already a castle since 980, and on the castle grounds was built this modern middle-aged castle. It was called the Steyr back 1,000 years ago, and that's where the name of this town comes from. And if you're here around Christmas, you can go to the first Austrian Christmas museum, where you can see Christmas dolls and Christmas decorations from 1830 to 1945. That is one rusty bridge. This iron bridge, which looks a bit rusty, was built only a couple of years ago to connect the old town more to the train station, which is up there. As you can see, all this looks a bit rusty, but this is intentional actually. This town is actually known for having bad flooding. There was one famous flood in 2002, and the flood went up way to the market square in town. So that was pretty bad. Everything, of course, up here was flooded. They have a meter in town showing how high the flood went up, and I'm going to show it to you over there. This is the flood meter. As you can see, the highest flood was in 1572, and in recent times there was one in 2002. So this is where the two rivers collide. This is the Enns and the Steyr, and here they come together, and the floods went all up into town here. Another thing this town was pretty known for is it was a factory for guns back in the industrialized age about 100 years ago or so. And nowadays the economy comes from building trucks and automotive parts.